I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot. But I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised.
Oh my gosh! Neil Diamond!
What the hell is going on?
Neil, let me explain.
You're the guys who've been sending me all those letters and tapes. Naked pictures.
What? We never sent you any naked pictures? Dude, sorry. Look, Mr. Diamond, you gotta help us save our buddy Darren.
He's gonna marry the wrong woman.
Look, Sandy and Darren, they broke up.
Love on the rocks. Ain't no big surprise.
But you gotta help us get them back together.
I don't know.
Come on, Neil, turn on your heart light. Judith brainwashed.
For years, Darren was in love with me, but I never knew it.
Hold it. Hold on.
And did I mention I was gay?
I've spent my whole life writing songs about the healing power of love, but up until right now, they've only been words. This may be my chance to prove that those words really mean something. Now, you say that if Darren marries Judith, he's going to be miserable.
Right.
I believe in happy endings, and if Neil Diamond has anything to do with it, this love story is going to have one. Come on, yeah!
Thursday, January 4th, 2018. Today's blind items. The A-plus lister child porn king. It all began unraveling a little over 2 decades ago. His carefully constructed facade crumbled under the revelation that this permanent A-plus list singer had multiple sexual relations with girls as young as 9. It was the early 90s and he was working on all things a children's record. It wasn't his record, but a female singer/songwriter who probably reached the peak of A-minus list in her career. For the most part, the female singer was a B-lister. She did get a top 10 single in the top 200 and a #1 on one of the specialized Billboard charts. She wanted to make a children's record to give her young child something to listen to. It was a nice touch. Anyway, she was working with the A-plus lister on the record, and he wanted to make a video. So, some kids and their parents were invited to make the video. One of the parents that was at the video was 21 years old. With her was her 7-year-old daughter. The father of that 7-year-old, the A-plus list singer. Yes, that means he impregnated a 14-year-old. She was not the only teen he has ever impregnated. There are rumors there are over a dozen teens he got pregnant through his decades-long career. Usually, our singer would brush these kinds of things off and send a team of his lawyers swarming over any teen who tried to cause fuss in the media. This was not in the 70s, though. This was the early to mid-90s, and it was the late 80s when he got that particular teen pregnant. The other difference was that the wife of the A-plus lister was present when the 21-year-old confronted the singer. This was the first time she had never met one of these women. She had heard rumors of their existence, but the singer had always blown them off. The fight in that studio that day was epic. Apparently much of it was caught on tape. That tape was a death knell for any possible graceful exit for the A-plus lister. The wife of the A-plus lister then hired someone to break into the safe of the A-plus lister. Inside were hours and hours of tapes dating back to the late 60s, early 70s of the singer and various teens having sex. There were VHS tapes and reel-to-reel films. In the safe were documents related to pregnancies of teens and settlements paid. It was a treasure trove of documents and proof. The wife told the mom/singer, who had simply been making a record for kids. That mom/singer was crushed. She had looked up to the A-plus list singer. She turned to a friend of hers who was also a singer, B, and told her what had happened. Apparently, B knew about the A-plus list singer, and B said that a very close relative of hers was the same way back in the day. That relative, C, is also a permanent A-plus lister, and for a decade never had sex with anybody over 18, except for his wife. His philosophy was that he became a rock star to have sex with groupies, very young groupies. Going back to our A-plus lister, he ended up getting divorced and didn't say a peep about the terms or the amount. He couldn't. His now ex-wife did try to find all the teens that had been impregnated by the singer and gave them each $1 million. His settlements with them had been for $25,000 to $50,000 each. As for the child porn collection, the now ex-wife gave it to her lawyer, and so it will remain until after the death of the A-plus lister. As for the singer/mom, She basically killed herself. She couldn't handle the fact that she had looked up to the A-plus lister and had worked with him and brought her own kid around him. And the clues. Number 1, permanent A-list singer. Number 2, early 90s children's record. Number 3, A-/B list female singer-songwriter who had made the top 10 of the top 200 and made one number 1 on a special billboard, who was also a mother. Number 4, B, friend of the singer, who's a female, and C, permanent A-plus list singer, who's married and also related to B. Number 5, the A-plus list divorced and stayed quiet about all the money and everything, and he's still alive. Number 6, the singer mom basically killed herself. This is from crazydaysandnights.net, and if it weren't for all the comments on crazydaysandnights.net, I would never have been able to put this one together. Because personally, I had never heard of Nicolette Larson, the singer-songwriter who everyone's saying it is. So if the A-/B list female singer-songwriter is Nicolette Larson, the album is Sleep Baby Sleep, an album for her daughter. On this album there are some bigger names, including David Crosby, Graham Nash, Linda Ronstadt, and Neil Young. So looking at all of them, none of them were divorced around that time. Graham Nash was married to Susan Sennett for 38 years until 2016, so it's not him. David Crosby was married in 1987 and was at least married up until the date of this article, which is 2008, so it's not him. Neil Young, on his second wife, married in 1978, they were just recently divorced, so it wasn't him. So just to confirm, Nicolette Larson, top 10 of 200, number 8, 1979 for A Lot of Love, and also number 1 on the Hot Adult Contemporary tracks. 1990, Nicolette Larson married Russ Kunkel, who is a drummer/producer, and he's worked with many famous names. I went into the list of all his sessions, and I went through all the names that were between 1991 and 94, and I think I narrowed it down. And yes, people in the comments of Crazy Days and Nights were also saying this, but this does give validity to why he might have been connected. Neil Diamond. Russ Kunkel was a session drummer for Neil Diamond's Christmas album in '92, and also Up on the Roof in '93, and many more. But that would put him in the studio around the same time, 1992, when Sleep Baby Sleep was recorded. It is speculated that whichever A-plus lister this blind refers to would not be on the album credits because it was such a public fight right there. Looking into B and C, B being the friend of the singer-songwriter who said that she has a close relative that used to be the same way, who is also an A-plus lister. If B, we could take it as just Exhibit B, or maybe Brainflower, an album by Astrid Young, who was friends with Nicolette Larson, and her half-brother is Neil Young. C could stand for Canadian, where Neil Young's from. And this could implicate this even more. This is from Nicole Larson's Wikipedia, which you're welcome, YouTube. I know you want to start shoving Wikipedia on here, so here you go. According to Astrid Young, her friend and Neil Young's half-sister, Larson had been showing symptoms of depression, and her fatal seizure was in no small way related to her chronic use of Valium and Tylenol PM. Basically, killed herself.
Neil Diamond and Marcia Murphy. Neil Diamond has had a career spanning from 1962 and isn't letting up yet despite being over 70 years of age. He married Murphy in the 70s and had 2 children with the former production assistant. They separated in 1994. Marcia claimed it was over irreconcilable differences. Diamond willingly gave her the money she asked for, $150 million.
some people in the comments were saying it couldn't be Neil Diamond because Vaughn was saying that he couldn't talk about the settlement for his divorce. But it doesn't say that at all. It says, going back to our A-lister, he ended up getting divorced and didn't say a peep about the terms or amount. He couldn't. It doesn't say legally, it means he couldn't because she had him by the fucking balls. He couldn't say, no, I'm not giving you $150 million. What's he gonna say? Marsha Murphy was a TV producer when she met her future husband, Neil Diamond. Diamond was still married to his first wife when they first started dating. Murphy divorced Diamond after 25 years of their wedding, citing irreconcilable differences. She walked away with half of Neil's earnings, a whopping $150 million, as her divorce settlement. But Neil is not bitter about it and said she's worth every penny, because he fucking has to. Also, I found this comment somewhere. I thought Neil's divorce to her was classy. No lawyers, just a phone call and a split down the middle. I remember him saying in an interview that he wished her all the happiness $150 million could bring. Another strange thing, November 21st, 2007, Neil Diamond reveals the cute, pervy roots of Sweet Caroline. Late yesterday, singer Neil Diamond revealed that the inspiration for his famous song Sweet Caroline was a girlish Caroline Kennedy, who was 12 when the song was originally released. He even performed the song via satellite at Kennedy's 50th birthday party last week, which friends say was a thrill for the charitable New Yorker. Wait a minute, there may be a lot of complicated lyrics to this song, but we seem to remember at least a couple that aren't little girl appropriate. And who could forget the most erotic part of the song, which is not technically part of the lyrics, but is required chanting for all high school dancing. So good, so good, so good. Yeah, looking at the above picture of Caroline with these lyrics, it kind of makes us a little nauseous. Fucking stoned.
I got